Hello guys, so for today I'm going to show you the Adobe Premiere interface. So assuming that you already have created a new project in Adobe Premiere, and this is what you are going to see in your screen. So by default it's in the editing workspace. So here on top of your screen are the different workspaces, and by default it's the editing workspace. And normally in the editing workspace there are 4 different panels that are open. So we have this one at the lower left corner of your screen, and here another one on the upper left corner and upper right corner and the lower right corner of your screen. So these are the 4 panels that you will see when you open your Adobe Premiere. So let's start with the first panel right here at the lower left side of your screen. And by the way, you will see the blue lines, the blue box. It signifies that the panel is selected. So to start with, the lower left side of your screen, this is what we call the project window. So this is where you will see all your assets, and when you say assets, it's all the media files that you need for your project, like the pictures, the videos, the audio, and even the text is found here in your project window. So as you can see here, project name is Untitled. So if you haven't changed or set the file name when you created the file or the project, then it will be Untitled. But when you create your project, you can also write the file name right away, or you can change the file name later when you save your project. Okay, so here, this is where you will see all your assets, and the first thing you need to do is, of course, okay, before these things are here, you have to import these assets first. So importing the assets means telling Adobe Premiere where to locate your assets or your media files from your computer. So it can be from your desktop, from downloads, or from any drive or folder from your computer. So there are 2 basic ways to import your assets or your media files to Adobe Premiere Pro. The first one is using the media browser. Okay, right here in the project window there's media browser. It allows you to choose the files from your computer, so you just need to locate the files. Okay, so you can see all the drives here that is available in your computer. It can be from your drive D, from your drive C, it can be from my documents, as I said, okay, or desktop, wherever. Then you just simply choose the file, right click on it, okay, or let's say from my pictures, okay, let's say you have any files that is in here, you can just simply right click and choose import. When you click import, then it will be added to your project window. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is going directly to the folder. Let's say I have here some files in my desktop, okay, one of the folders in my desktop. So I can just simply click and drag and bring it to the projects folder or the project window. So click and drag and it will be added there. Right here it's already added. So that's it. So those are the 2 ways of adding or importing your assets or media files from your computer. So down here, I'd like to show you down here, there is a search button where you can use this to search to your assets. So if you are not sure what's the file name, or I mean if there are a lot of files you already have, there are a lot of assets in your project window, then you can search to find the file or the asset easily. The other one here is new bin, means you can create folders to organize your files. We'll have another video for that. and here new item, you can add all these new items in your project. And the last one is clear or delete. You can just simply click on any of your assets and press this one, or click this one, or you can just press delete from your keyboard. So that's how you remove an asset from your project window. By the way, it is called project. Normally it's in video editing, files that you create is called project. That's why it is called project window. So this is where you will see all your assets. Okay, now let's move to the top left corner of your screen, which is called the source window. So you will notice that when you double click on any of your assets, it will appear on the source window. Okay, and here on the source window, you can do playback. You can play, so you can see first what's in the video or what's in the picture before you add them into your timeline. So let's say you have selected this asset and you want this asset to be added into your timeline. So you can just simply click and drag here on the lower right corner of your screen, which is the timeline. Okay, so this is where you will arrange everything. You will arrange all your assets the way you want them to appear in your video. So later we will discuss the timeline, but let's go back to the source window first. Okay, so after dragging the video, then it's added here in your timeline. So the whole video is added together with the audio, and as you can see here in your timeline, there is a layer for video and layer for audio. So let's say I don't want the whole thing, the whole video. Okay, let me delete this first. Okay, right here on these two buttons here are very important. These two buttons allows you to select whether you will just use video only. So if I click this one and drag this to the timeline, it will only add the video without the audio. So if you are shooting, if your footage is outside and it's noisy and you don't want those noise in the background, you can just add the video. Okay, on the other hand, you can also use audio only, okay, without the video. For example, you have recorded something from your video camera and you don't want the video, you just need the audio. You can just simply click this, drag audio only, drag it to the timeline. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Okay, and only the audio will be there. You won't see anything in the video, so it's just the sound. So another thing that you can do with the source window is to select which part of the video you want to include. Okay, let's say you don't need the whole thing, okay, and you only need part of the video. So you can move this playhead to any part of the video that you want to start with, okay, that you want to include in your timeline. So let's say here in the 5-minute mark, okay, I'm going to start from here, take this part and end it with somewhere there. Okay, so to mark this as the beginning, you can either click this one, mark in, or press I from the keyboard. So click mark in or press I from the keyboard. So it will select that point as the beginning of the video, and move this playhead again to where you want to end. Let's say I want to end at 15-second mark, so right here, and you can press this one also, mark out, or you can press O from the keyboard. So as you can see here, only this part is selected, and so when I drag this video to the timeline, it will only add that part. So it won't add the beginning and the ending, it will just add the one at the middle. So that's one good thing with the source window. Okay, and one thing that you can do is to select first the part of the video that you want to include. Although you can also add the video here in your timeline and cut it directly here in the timeline. We'll have another tutorial for that. So for the meantime, we'll just have this as an example. Okay, so let's move on to the timeline. Okay, this screen or this panel that is in the lower right corner of your screen is called the timeline. So the timeline, usually this is where we edit. Okay, this is where we arrange all the assets the way we want it to be shown in the actual video or on the final product. So as you can see here, okay, there is V and letter A. Okay, so V is for video layer and A is for the audio layer. Okay, by the way, instead of using the word layer, we call it track. So we have two different kind of tracks here. We have the video track and the audio track. So V signifies the video, A signifies the audio, and you cannot put a video on the audio track, or the audio you cannot put it in the video track. So by default there are 3 tracks for video. There are also 3 tracks for the audio, but if you need more, you can just simply right click and click add tracks, and if you want to delete a track, you just click delete track. So same thing right here at the bottom on the audio track, you just right click and click the add tracks or delete track. On this side, on this column actually, you can see the lock icons. This one is useful when you want to lock the track so that you will avoid unnecessary changes on that particular track. And here we have the toggle sync lock, and here we have the show and hide. Okay, so if you click this eye icon here, then it will show or hide the track. And for this audio layer, we have mute track. So if you don't want to hear the audio, let's say you are still editing and you don't want to hear the audio, for the meantime you can mute it. And the S is for solo track, and this microphone icon is used to have a voiceover, so you can record your voice right here. So for example, you are trying to narrate the video, so you can play the video and do your narration right here. So this is your timeline. Now in the timeline, you can also see these numbers here on the upper part of your timeline. So this signifies the time, the seconds actually. Okay, so you know how much time or how long the video or the audio or your asset will be playing. So it's in seconds. Now right here at the bottom is your scroll bar. Okay, so it shows the other parts of your video, but you can also use this scroll bar to display it or to magnify the display of your timeline. So you can go to each point in your timeline. You can go to more detailed points in your timeline because it is bigger. Okay, so you can increase this and you can decrease the size of your slider. So it depends on what you are trying to edit. By the way, one more thing for the timeline is that you can increase also the size of your track. For the meantime, if you are editing it, you can increase the size. You can also decrease the size by clicking on this middle part of the two tracks. So that's how you increase the track. So for example, you are trying to edit the volume of the audio track, then you can increase the size, so you can work on this thing. Okay, but we will have another video for that. Okay. Now once you have arranged, okay, all your assets in your timeline, example like this, okay, then you can click here to see how it will look like when it's done. So this will be your program monitor. So this is where you check how your video is arranged. So this is your preview on the actual output of your video. Okay, so that is your Adobe Premiere interface. By the way, before we end, there's another part here. Okay, this is where you will see your tools. Okay, a small panel here. This is where you see the functional tools for Adobe Premiere, and we will have another lesson for these tools. While on this side, the right side most of your screen is what we call the meter. Okay, so it shows you this color. It shows you the level of the volume level of your audio. Okay, so that is called meter. Before I forget, okay, you can also increase or decrease the size of a panel by pointing to the middle of the panels and clicking it to the left or clicking it to the right, depending on which panel you want to make bigger or smaller. Okay guys, so this is your Adobe Premiere interface. See you on the next video.